National Electrical Code Section 280.56 addresses the support of conductors. It states that conductors and cables shall be securely supported where not permanently fastened. When conductors pass through framing members, holes should be bored that are at least 1/4 inch larger than the diameter of the cables or conductors. These holes should also be protected by bushings or grommet holes where necessary to prevent abrasion of the insulation. Additionally, cables and raceways must not be supported by piping, conduit, or other non-electrical equipment. National Electrical Code Section 110.26 covers accessible electrical equipment and its working space requirements. Specifically, subsection F addresses working space, and subsection 1 covers general requirements. Paragraph A states that working space for equipment must comply with one of two conditions. Firstly, a minimum clear working space of 30 inches wide and 36 inches deep must be maintained in front of the electrical equipment, or secondly, a minimum working space of 30 inches wide and 24 inches deep is acceptable in front of the electrical equipment, but only where access to the equipment is limited to qualified persons only. This means that if unqualified personnel might need to access the electrical panel, the deeper 36-inch clearance is mandatory. These clearance requirements are in place to ensure that electricians and other qualified personnel have enough room to safely work on the electrical equipment. Obstructing this space with equipment, cables, or other items can create a safety hazard and violate electrical codes. The requirement that cables and raceways not be supported by non-electrical equipment is intended to prevent damage to the electrical system and to ensure that the electrical system is properly supported. If cables are supported by piping or other non-electrical equipment, they could be damaged by vibration or movement of the supporting structure. This could lead to electrical shorts, fires, or other hazards. The electrical code is a set of standards for the safe installation and maintenance of electrical systems. It is important to follow the electrical code to protect yourself, your property, and others from electrical hazards. In the context of information technology equipment placed near electrical panels, several potential violations and safety concerns arise. Firstly, placing equipment on top of electrical panels directly obstructs the required working space as defined in National Electrical Code Section 110.26. This makes it difficult and dangerous for qualified personnel to access the panel for maintenance or repairs. The lack of adequate working space increases the risk of electrical shock or other injuries. Secondly, hanging cables over access doors also violates National Electrical Code Section 110.26 by obstructing access to the electrical panel. Cables draped across the panel can create a tripping hazard and impede quick access in case of an emergency. Additionally, the weight of the cables could potentially damage the panel door or other components. Thirdly, the support of communication cables in this manner needs to be compliant. While not explicitly electrical conductors, the installation of these systems are addressed in Article 800 of the National Electrical Code. In general, communication cables such as Ethernet or fiber optic cable should be supported independently and not be attached to or supported by electrical equipment or raceways. This is to maintain the integrity and accessibility of both systems. Fourthly, the environment where the electrical panel is located is also a factor. If the space is not specifically designed or designated as an information technology room, the installation of information technology equipment and cabling must adhere to standard electrical practices. This includes proper cable management, support, and protection. Cables should be securely fastened and supported to prevent strain on connections and to avoid creating hazards. To address these issues, the following steps should be taken. Firstly, all information technology equipment should be removed from the top of the electrical panels to ensure compliance with National Electrical Code Section 110.26. This includes any computers, servers, or other devices. Secondly, all cables hanging over access doors should be rerouted and properly supported using appropriate cable management techniques. This may involve installing cable trays, J-hooks, or other support structures. Thirdly, ensure that all cables are adequately sized for the current they will carry. This is especially important for power cables that supply information technology equipment. Undersized cables can overheat and create a fire hazard. Fourthly, verify that all electrical connections are properly made and that all equipment is grounded. This will help to prevent electrical shock and ensure the safe operation of the equipment. Fifthly, consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that all installations comply with the National Electrical Code and other applicable standards. A qualified electrician can identify potential hazards and recommend solutions to improve the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Sixthly, implement a regular inspection and maintenance program for all electrical equipment and cabling. This will help to identify and correct any potential problems before they become serious hazards. In addition to the National Electrical Code requirements, there may be local codes or regulations that apply to the installation of information technology equipment near electrical panels. It is important to check with the local authority having jurisdiction to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. By following these steps, you can ensure that the installation of information technology equipment near electrical panels is safe, compliant, and reliable. This will help to protect people and property from electrical hazards and ensure the continued operation of critical systems. It is also important to remember that electrical work should only be performed by qualified personnel. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper training and experience can be dangerous and can lead to serious injuries or even death. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, always hire a licensed electrician. In addition to the above, it's important to consider the potential for electromagnetic interference or EMI between electrical and data cabling. Running data cables close to power cables or electrical equipment can introduce noise and interference into the data signals, which can disrupt network performance or cause data loss. To mitigate this risk, data cables should be separated from power cables and electrical equipment as much as possible. Shielded data cables can also be used to reduce the effects of EMI. Furthermore, ensure that all equipment is properly labeled and identified. This will help to prevent confusion and ensure that qualified personnel can quickly identify and access the correct equipment for maintenance or repairs. Labels should be clear, concise, and durable. They should also be placed in a location where they are easily visible. Finally, remember that safety is always the top priority when working with electrical equipment. Always follow safe work practices and use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as gloves, safety glasses, and insulated tools. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation or maintenance of electrical equipment, always consult with a qualified electrician. By taking these precautions, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable codes and regulations. This will help to protect people and property from electrical hazards and ensure the continued operation of your business or organization. It is essential to remember that electrical codes and regulations are constantly evolving. Stay up to date on the latest changes and ensure that your electrical system is always in compliance. This may involve attending training courses, reading industry publications, or consulting with a qualified electrician on a regular basis. Investing in electrical safety is an investment in the well-being of your employees, customers, and the public. By taking the time to properly install and maintain your electrical system, you can create a safe and productive environment for everyone. Furthermore, consider the long-term implications of any electrical modifications or installations. Changes to the electrical system can affect the capacity and performance of the entire system. It is important to carefully plan any modifications and ensure that they are compatible with the existing infrastructure. In some cases, it may be necessary to upgrade the electrical service or add additional circuits to accommodate new equipment or loads. A qualified electrician can help you assess your electrical needs and develop a plan to ensure that your system is adequate for your current and future requirements. It's also crucial to document all electrical work that is performed. This documentation should include detailed drawings, specifications, and test results. It should also include a record of all inspections and maintenance activities. This documentation will be invaluable for future maintenance and troubleshooting. It will also be helpful if you ever need to make any changes to the electrical system. In addition to the above, consider the potential for energy efficiency improvements. There are many ways to reduce energy consumption in your electrical system, such as using energy-efficient lighting, installing occupancy sensors, and optimizing the operation of electrical equipment. By implementing energy-efficient measures, you can save money on your electricity bills and reduce your environmental impact. Remember that electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Everyone who works with or around electrical equipment should be aware of the potential hazards and take steps to protect themselves and others. This includes providing adequate training, implementing safe work practices, and ensuring that all equipment is properly maintained. By working together, we can create a culture of safety that protects everyone from electrical hazards. Finally, remember that electrical systems are complex and potentially dangerous. If you are ever unsure about any aspect of the installation, maintenance, or operation of electrical equipment, always consult with a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician has the training, experience, and knowledge to safely and effectively address any electrical issue. By relying on qualified professionals, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable codes and regulations.